Hello, Wolfpack fans. This is Marcy Bullock here with your 10-minute webinar, When Everything is Postponed Except Resilience, Overcoming Obstacles When Life Throws You a Curveball. A little bit of background on me. I started my 20s a long time ago, and many of you are entering this decade. And honestly, I felt like things were trying, but I have no idea how you could be feeling right now. So I would roll around a lot in what I'm going to do with my life in my 20s. And then I moved into what I called my thankful 30s, where I felt a lot of gratitude, kind of let go of some of the selfishness that I felt in that earlier decade, and transitioned into the authentic, freeing 40s, where I began just a different path in my life. I wasn't comparing myself as much to other people and using really harsh criticism. And now I'm excited for my Fearless 50s, where I get to do stuff that scares me and redefine my identity. I wanted to share with you some of the regrets of hospice patients. So these are people who are at the end of their life. They've given kind of an expiration date by a doctor. Maybe they're in a hospice facility or at home with a hospice nurse. And what they were asked is, what do you regret most? And I know we don't have an expiration date stamped on us like a carton of milk, but these people did. And what they said was they regretted not spending more time with friends, not letting themselves be happy, and being more true to their own self, not trying to live for someone else. And of course, in these uncertain times, I think it's really important to reflect on that because nothing is guaranteed for us. And what we're focusing now on is today, being present and supporting others. I looked at some research on college students, and this is before the coronavirus. 60% of college students reported feeling lonely. And this is interesting because there's so much pressure on getting picked for that internship, for that job. And honestly, the research shows that if you focus more on being happy now, that the job prospects will fall into place. So that is a very good thing to focus on. And one of the strongest predictors of happiness is good relationships. So we need to, at times, inflate our happiness tires and really believe in our own worth. We can all use a little inflating right now, I think. So there was this interesting study on a Chicago commuter train where they divided people up into two groups. One group was told you have to talk to a stranger, and one group was told to put in their headphones and not interact with anyone over the next hour. Well, they were all given a Starbucks card, and so they agreed to participate. And lo and behold, the group that was told to talk with the stranger reported a lot higher happiness at the end of that ride. So this focuses on, again, connecting to others and dealing with loneliness. One of the things I want you to think about right now is what is defining you. A lot of times the thoughts that we have in our head can be really big barriers. They can impact our feelings, our behaviors, and what we want to do is think about when that light bulb goes off, is there a way for me to maybe change my thoughts? So we're all washing our hands a lot right now, and we're told to do that for 30 seconds. So my favorite song to sing when I'm washing my hands is September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. That just makes me happy. Music is wonderful therapy. And the other thing that I want you to start focusing on now during these troubled times is to remember your why. That can really ground you. So the activity we're going to do now is, why am I here? What's most important to me? What are my values? So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and pause this webinar now and write down your top 7 values. So after you have looked at all of these values, maybe there's something else that's not important to you that's on the list. These 7 things are really, really important to you. I bet no one listening to this right now has the same top 7. So keeping that in mind, it focuses on what I want. Research showed that 1 in 3 people are not happy with their lives. Well, that's a lot of people. And that's even before all of the horrible things that have hit the world had occurred with this pandemic. So I think it's really simple to be happy, but I don't think it's easy. So I have this F-bomb philosophy. When I ask students, why don't you have what you want? I think it's because of the F-bomb. We hear it being dropped all the time. People say it left and right. I bet you've heard it before too. What do you think the F-bomb is? Well, there's really a few different ones. You might have said fear, fear of failure. You might have said fail. And the other one is fine. I'm fine. Well, that four-letter F-bomb is really not true. So I want you to remember that the odds of you being born at the moment you were with that DNA to those parents is 1 in 400 trillion. So the next time someone asks you how you are, you can say, I'm phenomenal, instead of I'm fine. So these are some of the transformations we're going through right now. We are facing a very big challenge right now. Maybe we failed in the past, we've had struggles, we've had and are having a crisis, and even an expectation hangover, meaning we expected the semester to be so different. So remember, whatever follows the word I am is what you are. So if you say I'm confused, you're confused. If you say I'm stressed, you're stressed. Perhaps you can change it to I'm awaiting clarity and I am focusing on the positive. Remember, you can let go of your old narratives so that you realize you are enough while you're observing your thoughts and feeling, and you have the power to make the next choice. So try this when you feel that negative thought coming on. You can say to yourself, my brain offered me a thought. That wasn't true. I'm maybe running a false program. You can actually observe your thoughts and decide if they serve you. You can stop judging yourself from a lens of perfection. I know you. You are out there. And realize the think, feel, belief cycle. If you did the same thing over and over again, is it making you feel good? If you're thinking it, maybe you want to change it. And look for evidence to support a new set of beliefs. Maybe since you practice that old thought a lot, like I'm really stressed out, it's going to take you some time to change it. So we're going to just put together a new mixtape for our life in 3 easy steps. So if you see yourself saying, I'm being a mind reader, I'm saying everything is going to be doomed, observe that thought. Realize you actually can't read anyone's mind. Or maybe you're trying to be that fortune teller, trying to say that you know what's going to happen in the future. Remember that your brain is always listening to what you feed it. And if you have this negative thought about what's going to happen in the future, it'll take you a little while to reprogram. Also, I love the notion of changing I've got to I get to, because we get to do our homework. Even though the classes are online, we still get access to this education. We spend 900,000 hours at work after we graduate college, which is a third of our waking hours. So I want you to remember, you get to have the privilege of being at this university, and hopefully you have gotten some great tips today. Thank you.